We swept the Rockies. We love talking about Juan Soto. That's when you know Pete is going to be at his best. Bro, I'm going to celebrate when my team wins. Edwin Diaz is so back, baby. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Ground ball after ground ball. 4-game set in LA against the Dodgers. A series split would be fine with me. I'm your host, Eric Ames. I was born and raised in New York, but after college, I moved out west. Still a huge New York sports fan. You know, you can take the boy out of New York, but you can't take the New York out of the boy. This is the Mets West Podcast. Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Mets West Podcast. The Mets swept the Rockies. Everybody can rejoice because I know it's hard to sweep the major league players on the... We swept the Rockies. They should have swept the Rockies. They swept the Rockies. All is well. I feel better. It's like a deep breath. You know, after Saturday's game, you said they won the series. That's good. Anything can happen on Sunday. But as soon as Sunday's game ended, mwah, 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 love it. Had to sweep them. First things first, let's talk about the offense. The Mets scored 17 runs in these 3 games, which it's good. It's good. Against the Rockies and the pitchers they were throwing out there, I mean, these pitchers, their ERAs were 5 point whatever, 7 point something, 8 point whatever. For reference, that's 5.67 runs per game over those 3 games. The Dodgers currently lead the league at 5.86 runs per game. What that means to me is that against the Rockies, with particularly their starting pitching, which is very bad, I feel like we could have done a little bit more, but stepping stones, it's progress. The Mets offense has been very, very stagnant. So this series, it's good to see. Playing a team like the Rockies should really get any team back on track, whether it's the pitching, the hitting, and it seems like this series did that for the Mets. So I'll take the 17 runs, and hopefully we can just keep building on that. Let's talk about some players, because as a unit, the offense was very good. For the most part. Let's talk about our big guns first. So Francisco Lindor had 6 hits in this series, 3 of them home runs, which is great. And his OPS is up to 845. Love to see it because he was hot at the beginning of the year. He cooled off a little, but he seems like he's coming back. Juan Soto. We love talking about Juan Soto, wondering when he's getting back on track. Folks, I think Soto is getting back on track now. He only had 4 hits in this series, but 2 of them were homers, and 1 of them was an RBI double, and his OPS is up to 792, which is so close to 800, which if he's going to keep going. He's going to keep building on it. Like I said, playing a team with subpar pitching should get your hitters going. It feels good. Haven't heard much talk about Juan Soto's struggles in the last few days. I guess it's hard to write articles about that kind of thing when the player's performing a little bit better, so that's interesting. Mr. Peter Alonso had 1 hit in each of these games, but in Game 3 this afternoon, he hit a classic Pete bomb, 3-run homer, opposite field. It was another one of those hits where off the bat, it doesn't really seem, kind of just feels like a fly out, and then he hit it 400 something feet, like multiple rows deep into the stands. And that's when you know Pete is going to be at his best. Brett Baty continues to hit. I want the kid in the lineup every single day. Carlos Mendoza, if you're watching this, which I know you're not, please just do this for me. Tyrone Taylor, the dude continues to hit just enough to warrant keeping him in the lineup because his defense, like I've talked about before, in center field is just so valuable. I feel like everyone kind of had a pretty good series at the plate. So we can put a pause on the whole fire Eric Chavez movement thing, I think. I mean, Francisco Alvarez and Mark Vientos really, really worry me still. I feel like they've had vast declines. I know Alvarez's whole career in the majors so far has been a little up and down, whereas Vientos had a great year last year, an excellent postseason. So to see him really floundering under that 700 OPS mark, it freaks me out a little bit. All I'm asking, whether they keep Chavez or not, can you just bring JD Martinez back into the dugout just to be Mark Vientos's personal hitting coach? Because last season, their relationship seemed to work wonders for Mark. I'm curious to see if the offense can keep it up this week in LA or if they regress back to lots of ground balls, lots of double plays. Obviously hoping for the former. When I was looking at the box scores for this series to take my notes for this episode, a stat jumped out at me, and that is Jeff McNeil's OPS is 832, but his average is only 244, which obviously if you know Jeff in the past, you'd expect those numbers to kind of be flipped, whereas average is, at or over 300 and his OPS is a little bit lower because he used to just slap the ball around, focus on contact, getting hits. I know this season has been weird for Jeff since he's come back, but I'm just curious to see how the rest of the season is going to play out for him. I wonder if he's going to keep up that kind of higher OPS for him and keep focusing on power, or if he's going to kind of revert back to that contact hitter we've seen him be. I don't really know. I mean, we've seen him change the kind of hitter he is over the years, so maybe this is just who Jeff is now. On to the pitching in this series. I think the pitching did a pretty good job. Again, there's just a caveat in this whole episode, which is the Mets were playing the Rockies. Their pitching is bad. Their hitting is bad. I actually got a comment on TikTok on one of my post-game recaps I did for Game 2, and I was like, yeah, the Mets beat the Rockies. And someone commented, they're like, I'm a diehard Mets fan, but we shouldn't be celebrating beating the Rockies like this. It's the Rockies. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to celebrate when my team wins. Like, why do you watch sports if you're not going to be happy when your team wins? I don't know. I thought it was weird. So I'll give the caveat of it's the Rockies. Take everything with a grain of salt. But the pitching was good. It was good no matter what. The entire Mets pitching staff only gave up 7 runs over the course of these 3 games, which is obviously great. In the last episode, when I was kind of doing my predictions for this series, I said, I just want length out of the starters. I actually said David Peterson is the one guy that's absolved from this because he went almost 8 innings in his previous start, and he's the guy that went the shortest. But he still went almost 6 innings. Kodai went 6.1. And Clay Holmes, for the first time in his career, he went 7 innings. Obviously, he used to be a relief pitcher, but getting 7 innings out of him today is amazing. Just like with the offense, the pitchers had to take advantage of playing the Rockies, and I feel like the starters did that. They had pretty good games. We got pretty good innings out of them, and I'm pleased with that because the bullpen needs a break. Something you'll hear me say over and over again is that I hate when pitchers with good stuff just walk people. Throw it in the zone. People can't really hit it. You'll be fine. Mets pitchers this series only issued 5 walks. And that is amazing when you have a team like the Rockies. I just feel like Hefner probably said, you just have to attack. Every single hitter, you just have to attack them. Your stuff is better than their hitting. Just go at them. And that's what they did. Speaking of excellent pitching, Edwin Diaz is so back, baby. I can't remember the last time he gave up a run. He had a clean save in Game 1, struck out the side. In Game 3 of this series, he didn't strike out the side, but he struck out all 3 batters. He gave up a hit and then a wild pitch. We talk about Edwin having his emotional support base runner. That thing kind of happened. He just gave up a hit to the first guy, and then he totally locked in after that. Diaz's ERA is down to 2.22, and his whip is under 1. It's 0.95, and I just absolutely love to see it. His velo's been up 2 again, which is great. If you remember in spring training, we were all like, where's his velocity? His fastball's sitting 95 or something. It's back to 99, hitting 100 sometimes. Slider, 88, 90 miles an hour. I think we're good. Diaz is back. His legs are the same length, baby. It's going to be a good year for him. I wonder if there's anyone watching thinking, what did he say about his legs? I think Carlos Mendoza's been doing a good job in general with the lineups. He's mixing it up. He's trying to get everyone in at some point. Like in Game 3, behind Clay Holmes, he chose Beatty at third, which I love, and Acuna at second, because Clay Holmes, that dude gets a lot of ground balls. I mean, it worked perfectly. Holmes in this game was just getting ground ball after ground ball. Acuna, Beatty just vacuuming them up and getting them over to Pete. And I like the game plan. I like getting everyone in the mix. And I like when things work out. So all in all, when you sweep a terrible team like the Rockies, it kind of feels uneventful because you're like, yeah, they did what they needed to do. And I agree. I mean, they swept the series. They took care of business, which they absolutely needed to do. A lot of good things came out of it. Hopefully this can reignite the offense and the pitching can keep feeling strong, which they are. And one more note about the Rockies, they kept sending dudes up that I was like, he's on the team. So Jacob Stallings, who I remember terrorized Edwin Diaz with, I think, a walk-off grand slam when he was with the Pirates. There's just so many traumatic moments that live rent-free in my head. Orlando Arcia, the ex-Brave, he's on the team apparently. And Keston Hiura, who I can't remember the last time I saw him play. He must have been on an AL team or something. I don't know. But they just kept sending guys up that I was like, I had absolutely no idea they were on the Rockies. So looking ahead to the next series, which is a 4-game set in LA against the Dodgers, I just hope the Mets can ride the momentum of playing a team like this into that series and just keep it rolling. The Dodgers have had a really rough go of it with their pitching staff, so hopefully the Mets can take advantage of that. I mean, it feels like they already had so much pitching last year in the playoffs, and it feels like they added a bunch more depth, and still everyone's kind of hurt for them. So in this series, there are only 3 starters that have been announced so far. It's Dustin May, Clayton Kershaw, and Tony Gonsolin. All 3 of their ERAs are over 4. I think Gonsolin's is over 5. So it feels like the Mets should be able to take advantage of that. I mean, old man Kershaw, he's Clayton Kershaw. He can probably just be good on any given game. And the series is in LA. It's hard to win in LA. It's hard to win on the road. It's hard to win against the Dodgers in general. So a series split would be fine with me. A series win would be massive to just, take 1 extra from the Dodgers in LA. But they're the other top dog in the NL. It's the Dodgers. They're good. It's in LA. A split would be fine with me. Sports fans are funny because someone might respond to this and say like, oh, why don't you have more confidence? Like, oh, aren't you a true fan? Shouldn't we sweep? Shouldn't we win the series? I'm like, yeah, I would love them to, but I'm kind of just a realist. And at this point, it's the first week of June. If they split in LA, that's fine. Also, it seems like Paul Blackburn is finally coming back this year after a series of weird, bizarre injuries that people haven't really seen before. So I think the Mets are planning on going to a 6-man rotation moving forward with Blackburn. I know Senga likes an extra day. Holmes is obviously adjusting to being a starting pitcher this season, so an extra day is good for him too. And it's good for me because looking ahead to Friday's game, the Mets start a 3-game series against the Rockies again, but in Colorado, which is where I live, and I will be at Friday's game, and I really would like to see Senga, and I think if they insert Blackburn, that means Senga will line up with the game I will be at, so that's just nice for me. And honestly, the thing I would love the most out of the Dodgers series is that Tommy Edman doesn't turn into 2004 Barry Bonds again like he did in the NLCS last year, because what the hell was that? There's always that one random dude who just crushes us. I don't know why. And it seems like they all played on the Cardinals at one time together, because it's like Tommy Edman and Paul DeJong. I almost forgot his name, but I don't think I could ever actually forget his name because of the trauma that man has given me. 2 very quick positive notes before I get out of here. 1, the Mets are the only team in Major League Baseball who have not given up 200 runs yet, which is amazing. I mean, we know the pitching has been good, but that's kind of a stat that reinforces how good the pitching has been. And secondly, at the time of this recording, the Dodgers just lost to the Yankees, which makes the Mets the #1 team in the National League once again. And with that, I will say goodbye, and I will see you after the Dodgers series. Let's go Mets.